Hello everyone and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. Well, summer has finally arrived. Hallelujah. We've really had an interesting month up here in Canada. We've had tons of wildfires here again this year, mostly in the two middle provinces of Saskatchewan and Manitoba. Things were looking pretty bad there, and I'm sure probably if you're in the United States, you probably got a little bit of that smoke that we love to share with our southern neighbors. However, over the last couple of weeks, we've had an incredible amount of rain. Some days up to 70 millimeters, which I think is like over 2 inches of rain in one day. And I'm not mad about that because it's done a lot to settle some of those fires down. And I believe as of Friday, the state of emergency that both of those provinces were under were lifted. So that's good news for us for sure. I am super excited about today's video. Over the last year and a bit, I have been making tons of furniture and accessories for a dollhouse that up until this week was only on paper. But now I'm happy to say that the construction of the dollhouse has finally started and we have phase one complete. Now I say phase one because there's still a lot of work to do. However, it's a start and I'm happy about that. If you're interested in the house building process, I will talk a little bit more about it at the end of the video and just give you an idea of what the next steps are to getting this house to completion. But for now, let's get started on building a house. I thought I'd start today by just doing a really quick review of the floor plans that I made before I started this project. I'm not going to spend a ton of time going over it because I did do a tutorial at the time, and I will link that tutorial down below if you wanted to go back and watch it. What I do want to talk about is next steps. So once you have your floor plans drawn, where do you go from there? And for me, that was getting the walls themselves cut. The first thing that I did was to give each of these walls a letter. That way, when I was doing my measurements, I could keep track of which measurement went with which wall. Then I made a list on the side, and for each letter, I measured out exactly how long that wall had to be. You'll see that they're all times 10, and that's because every single wall is 10 inches high, with the exception of the two end pieces, which are actually going to be the full height of the first two floors. I've made a couple of adjustments to the original plan. For example, I'm taking out the closet and the seat on the left side of the entryway, and I've also taken out the elevator, as much fun as that would have been, and I'm going to put an actual staircase there. Once I had all of the measuring done, I began the very slow and painful process of transferring those walls over onto the base of what will be the dollhouse. It wasn't the measuring that was so hard, it was making sure that everything was completely square, because Lord, we all know what happens when our walls are not square. Originally, I was going to make the walls out of a 3/8 of an inch plywood. Unfortunately, we could not find anything decent in that measurement, and so I ended up having to go with a 1/2 inch, which is going to make this already very heavy dollhouse even heavier. But you can see here where I had already marked out the 3/8 of an inch line and then had to adjust. Once I was happy with where all the walls were placed, I handed over the wood and a list to read and sent him out to the garage to cut everything for me on his table saw. I'm good with a drill and a Dremel, but I'll leave the table saw to the experts. Once I got those cut pieces back, then I needed to go in and figure out where my windows and my doors were going to be. This is one of the side pieces, so I had to figure out the window placement not just for the first floor, but for the second floor as well. Then they all went back out to him again so that he could cut out all of those sections. I'm pretty lucky to have a husband who's so handy. But in all honesty, if it weren't for him and him being able to do some of these things for me, I would never have tackled this project using wood. Not every piece needed a doorway or a window cut out of it, and for that, he was very thankful. I want to go over now the process of actually attaching the walls to the floor. So this wall actually separates the study from the entryway. And while I've chosen this particular wall for my example, just know that every single wall in this project was put up using the exact same method. My initial thought was to just glue the walls up, but then I decided that with the thickness of this wood, I really do need a little bit more structure. So I've opted to use these wood dowels as well as the glue. So for each of the wall pieces, I'm going to be drilling holes along the bottom edge. Now, how many holes I drill really depends on how big the wall is. So this particular wall is about 12 inches long, so I think 3 dowels is probably sufficient. I'm also going to drill matching holes right directly into the floor itself. Since my dowels are 3/4 of an inch, I'm going to go in just shy of a 1/2 inch on each side. That'll give me just a little bit of extra wiggle room in case one is not quite as deep as the other. But before I get to drilling those holes, I want to take a minute and just mark this wall so that I know exactly what direction it's going. I want to mark out the back of the wall, the front of the wall, and what direction each side of that wall is facing. Because once those dowels are drilled, it's only going to fit one way. I've measured out the halfway point on the width of the wood. This is a really important measurement. If you drill your holes exactly in the center of the width on the wall as well as on the floor, you shouldn't have any trouble with your dowels lining up. Now, as for how far apart your dowels are on the length, it's really not as important. Now I've come in about 1.5 inches from each end and then placed the one in the middle. But as long as you're using the same measurement on the wall as you are on the floor, it'll be fine. So you can see here that I have the mark that separates the width and then a mark straight up and down vertically here showing exactly where I'm going to place the dowel. And in the center of those two lines is exactly where the drill will go. Now to make sure that the lines that I drawn on the bottom of the wall will line up with the floor, I'm going to be using this little square piece. This is perfectly square. You could also use a 1, 2, 3 blocks if you use those, or even a piece of jumbo Lego will work. But I've basically lined that up right beside the line that I've drawn on the bottom of the wall, and then just carried that line across onto the floor as well. That way you know that if you center that dowel on the floor at that line, that it's going to match where you're placing the hole for the dowel on the bottom of the wall. Now, just like I did on the bottom of the wall, I want to make sure that I'm finding the center point in the width of this section on the floor. So this is a 1/2 inch across. So I'm just going in at each of those lines I just drew, and I'm marking at the 1/4 inch mark or halfway across. And where those two lines will intersect is where the drill will go on the floor itself. When I decided to drill and use dowels for installing these walls, one of my biggest concerns was that I wasn't going to be able to drill the holes required straight up and down. I wasn't 100% confident that I wasn't going to drill down at an angle, and then of course if that happens, the dowels aren't going to work. So what this is a self-centering jig, and it actually does two things for me. So the first thing is that it helps keep my drill straight up and down. So there's no angle drilling when you use this. The second thing is that you can use it to stay exactly in the center of the bottom of the wall. And I'll show you how that works in a second. But basically the set comes with these little inserts, and they're all different diameter here depending on what the diameter is of your drill bit. So you just have to find the one that fits the drill bit that you're going to be using, and it just screws into this attachment like so. So now when I take that and place it on the bottom of the wall, and I turn it counterclockwise so that those two bars that are coming off the bottom are tight against either side of the piece of wood, it automatically makes that hole dead center in the bottom of that wall. Now I was having a hard time holding it tight with just one hand. So my husband added this bolt and a wing nut on the one side that is adjustable, because there's this like slot around the outside edge, and I could slide it in nice and tight and then tighten that wing nut, and then it stayed in place. So I didn't have to hang onto it with my hands and try and drill at the same time. So I've lined up where I want the hole in the center. I've tightened it all up. Now I'm going to add my little insert here. And then I found that I was able to take a flashlight and just kind of shine it down beside it, and it lit up the bottom so that I could make sure that there was nothing shifting and that I was still on that mark to where I needed to drill the hole. Now I used two different sizes of drill bits. The first one was quite a bit smaller than the second, and by drilling a hole first with that smaller bit, I was able to make a pilot hole for the larger bit. I also set my drill bit in so that it wouldn't go any more than 1/2 inch into the wood. After drilling a hole with first the smaller bit and then going back in with the larger one, then it was a simple matter of loosening that wing nut and moving it over to the next hole. I'm also testing after each drill to make sure that I've drilled down far enough for those dowels to sit in. I got both the centering jig as well as this little orange set of clamps from Amazon, and if I can find the links, I'll attach those as well below. So once I drilled all of the holes into all of the bottoms of all of the walls, then it was time to drill the corresponding holes into the floor itself. So I started by taking out the collar and putting it in on the other side. Now you'll see once it's in there tight that it's nice and flush on this side, and that will help keep my drill bit straight up and down on the floor as well. Now I was so focused on drilling the holes that I completely forgot to film the section for the floor. So I do want to show you how it works so that if this is something that you're doing yourself, you have an idea of how this centering tool will work for you. So that little dot is where I want to drill the hole. And I found that this tool was very slippery when it was on a flat surface. So I just found this little piece of foam that you line your cupboards with in your trailer. And I put that underneath it, and that kept it nice and secure for me, and it didn't wiggle around when I went to do the actual drilling. So I lined up that dot in the center of the collar, and then it's the exact same process as I did on the bottom of the walls. You just go in with your smaller drill first, drill your pilot hole, and then you can use your larger drill to make that hole a little bit bigger, and then pop your dowel in. So the whole process probably took me a good 5 days, and that's probably 6 hours each day. So this is not a process that you want to rush. You definitely want to take your time if you're going to do something like this. Check and double check your measurements. There was a couple of holes that I drilled, especially in the floor, that was off just by a tiny bit, but that's all it takes. And so I had to kind of drill out a bigger hole to compensate for that. But eventually I did get them all drilled, and this is kind of what it looks like put together. I was adding braces as I went because nothing is actually glued in place yet, and I certainly didn't want any of these larger walls to fall over. There's still 3 pieces that need doorways cut out or windows. So as I said, I haven't glued anything down, but I did want to get them up, make sure everything works, everything is straight. I've added clamps where I need to, and this is kind of where we're at. Hi again, and thanks for sticking around. So I mentioned at the beginning of the video that this was just phase 1 of this process. So I just wanted to take a couple of minutes and just talk about what's to come in order to get this house to completion. So phase 1 obviously is getting the walls up for the first floor or the main level. Phase 2 will be to add the ceiling / floor for the next level. However, I'm going to do all of my wiring in that section, so I have to leave a space in order to do that. Now, I'm about 90% sure of where the lights are going to be on the first level, but there's still a couple of places where I'm not 100% sure yet what I want to do. So while I wait for phase 2 to happen, I can still think about those ideas. Phase 3 and 4 are just a repeat of 1 and 2, just for the second level or the upper level. And then, of course, phase 5 will be to put the roof and the attic space, which will have the most important room in the house, which is the craft room. Of course, this whole process is going to take some time. I am very heavily dependent on my husband, who is a contractor, and unfortunately the summer is his busiest month, so I'm probably looking at sometime late summer, early fall before we get to the next phase, but that's okay because I have lots that I can do now that the walls are up. I can start looking at the flooring, room decor, colors, paint, that kind of stuff. And so I've got certainly lots to do. I've also put some of the furniture pieces that I've already made into the rooms so that I can have a look at kind of how it looks spacing wise, because sometimes when you're building it and you're imagining it, what it will look like in a room, and then the room is there and it's like, oh boy, that's not going to work. So happily everything seems to be okay, but it does give me an idea of how much empty space I have yet and the different things that I can fill in to make the room look homey and comfortable and all the things you want your dream house to look like. So again, thanks for joining me. I'm going to end the video here. I hope you all have an amazing day, an amazing summer, and we'll see you very soon in the next one. Bye for now.